traders, it's Erica at Alpha E Trades. It is Friday, July 23rd, about 11:24 a.m. Quick update on price action on what we've got going on. We are just we hit a couple targets today. Now let's take a look here. This is ES on the monthly chart. Today we are actually rocking and rolling. Market is back up 35 points on ES. NQ 118 points to the upside. RTY is sideways, 2 points, 3 points positive. Okay. Now the monthly chart, let's take a look at what we ultimately this is ultimately, obviously these are new all-time highs, but what we're targeting from a monthly perspective here, traders, is 45.97. Now again here, this doesn't mean, now obviously we do have pullbacks. They are short-lived. Example was this week. We had a 70-point correction on ES. The next day we made that up and then some. So again, this is our ultimate target here, 45.97. I just wanted to kind of show the monthly chart on what we have projected. Just depends on how we are going, if we're in pullback mode or not. A lot of times I will post on Twitter the short trade setups that we have. Doesn't mean that we're bearish. We're just bearish for that particular pattern. Okay. Overall, market is uber bullish. So as to when and if we get to this target, we don't know. If we take a look here on this monthly chart, there are no lower lows. So pretty strong here. Maybe by fall we'll get here, 45.97. But this is the monthly chart. I just wanted to project what we, from this particular pattern that we're looking at. Okay. Now let's go from the monthly down to the weekly. Speaking of pullbacks, let's go over this weekly chart. Now last week I had said, on this particular pattern here, if we closed under the 100 extension, we were going to have a pullback around 50 points or so. That's exactly what happened, but we went down to 70 points. Now, all we did, traders, was do another lower low. Okay, so we still have, all these are just sequential failure, sequential failure, sequential failure, sequential failure. Technically, this 100 extension was target 1. Now we're going to target 2 here, traders, from a weekly perspective. As to, again, these are all-time highs. The problem with all-time highs is we can assume all we want. Price action has never been there, so we don't have prior resistance to take a look at. So we can project all we want, and it's actually a waiting game as to do we really get there. But from a weekly perspective here, traders, I'm just going over the actual pattern setups, how we trade. We are targeting 44.63. Do keep in mind these are weekly candles again. So this is ending today. Curious to see how we close. Now if we want to close above this 100 extension on this weekly chart to get progress up into 44.63. Okay, 4400 is definitely coming in here. So this is the weekly chart. Let's take a look here at the 1440 chart. Okay, so today again we need to see how we close, because from this 1440 or daily chart, this right here was our breach point, and very important, if we close over, we're going to continue higher. Okay, but if we close under, we may see a pullback. So this is the breach point that I'm talking about. So here's our daily candle today. We do have resistance coming up here, but 4400 here, traders, we're at 43.96, 4400 psychological. However, though, the 76.4, 44.20 is a heavy resistance. Okay, so we need to keep an eye on that and how we close today. So we'll see how we go with that. Ultimately here, if this pattern can play out, again, I'm saying if, because these are, we're getting back into all-time highs, 44.81. But I want to show you the visuals of the patterns that we are trading. Okay, so we'll work level by level. So obviously today we're going to go 4400, and then from this 1440 chart, we're looking at 4420. Okay, so this is the 1440. Now let's crank the microscope down to the 240-minute chart. Okay, we did have our targets met today on this particular pattern that we had. I didn't have time to put this out on Twitter this morning, but our 100 extension was met, 43.85. Now target 2 here, traders, 44.17. It is possible we could see this today, 44.17. This would be target 2, and this is from a 4-hour swing perspective. Okay. NQ NQ, we just actually hit our target 3 on this 200 extension. Let's take a look here. And again, I didn't have time to post this on Twitter for those who follow. So target 1 here, we met at the 100 extension. Target 2, 141 we met. And bingo, we just hit the 200 extension, target 3. So we could see a little bit of, well, we've got R3 up here again. But the pattern technically has fulfilled on how we trade. Okay, so this is NQ. So all targets were met on that. RTY, this is our slower mover index. Yesterday we hit all targets and we're still kind of lingering. Now our next target on RTY here, traders, is 2160. Okay, so we'll see probably going into next week if we can target 2160. Okay, this is actually a bearish pattern on RTY, and this is a 60-minute setup. So we're looking at 2160. Invalidation level, though, on this particular pattern here is 2215 right here on RTY. Again, this is a 60-minute chart. So traders, happy Friday. I just wanted to do a quick video. Didn't have time to get these trade setups. These are beautiful swings for those of you who follow us on Twitter. So hopefully you're rocking it out today. And we'll be back next week to see how we go and if we're getting to some of these all-time high targets that we have projected on our charts. Again, market is uber bullish. Just because I post a bearish pattern on Twitter doesn't mean we are bearish. We're just bearish for that particular pattern. All right, traders, happy Friday, and we'll see you next week.